Okay, so this is a breakdown of Friday, November 8th. Let me remove drawings again and show you what I'm doing. So, if I was bullish here, or I'm just going back in each of these days with the previous bias that I had and just looking for my model, looking for setups and just looking at price action. So far this is what I have. Daily, 4 hour, we have the weekly gap right there. Okay, then on the 4 hour, we have 4 hour SMT again, so 2 SMTs, this 4 hour gap, and that's pretty much it on the 4 hour, and this wick right here. Then on the 1 hour, we have this fair value gap that it dips into with the bodies closing at this wick, with the bodies closing above, not getting to that wick. After we have an SMT, at night, then we go down into liquidity, into inefficiency, making another SMT, shifting the market structure back to bullish for the session. And then these three lines are the middle of this, because it's a Friday after 3 up days. It's most likely going to stay in this range, so you're going to do range trading, 15-minute, kind of the same thing. You have this, then you have another SMT here on the 15-minute, and you have these, and these, and I'm going to go on the 1 minute and explain them all right now. Explain the possible trades I had. Okay, so we have an SMT here, there. I don't know why I didn't have it here. So we have an SMT there, and then after that, you can aim for the middle of the gap, which is around 20 points, or you could aim for these relative equal highs. You can aim for 75%, or you can aim for when ES gets these relative equal highs. That is all partials. So the first entry that I would get in probably is this order block. This order block right here. Price comes down, touches it, continues to go, and this is an example of it before 9:30. Then you have another example of right here. You have an SMT, and there was no news today. You have an SMT, break below the gap, come back into it, and then go to this low. That's my model. A bit risky today, but yeah, you see it here, you see it form here, you have the eye here. And that's pretty much it. It stays in the range. And then it goes for these highs after staying down, and ES closes higher. So that's pretty much it for this range. Pretty much 2 setups plus I probably wouldn't go in the last 3 hours of this trading day, but I guess the tipping of the hand that it wants to take SMT right here, small. If it went below these lows, I would have liked that, but I guess once it breaks this and uses the 75% as inversion, goes for that, but I would not be a participant in that. So that's pretty much it. And I'm gonna go into Monday's trading. So we do have the benefit of hindsight. So on the chart right now, with this, I would favor a return below this low. So on Monday, this would be my target. My target would be new week opening gap plus this low. But if it was obviously showing signs of bullishness, I would also keep that in mind. So let's look in further detail with that. Body's not too promising. You have 15-minute SMT here. Okay, so we have, when you come at 7, say you're on the charts at 7, we then have a 15-minute SMT. So coming on at 7, this is what I see. I see the SMT, big volume imbalance, breakaway gap. That's a buy. This is a buy. If I'm on at 7, I'm looking for this high. And I'd look for any small return. I guess this could be a long. Then you could have a short here. If you don't trust that, well, let's say here to the 50% of the range. So you're in there, stop, above here, going to the 50. Then I remember this. 9:30. What I'm framing here is I wanted to see one of them go into here, make an SMT, then drop down to here. So this is what that looks like. You can trust it literally here. As soon as it gets in there, let's say you get in around here. Let's say you put it here, just for good measure. Target there. And then let's say you get in again here with the stop right there. And you wait for ES to reach the gap. And this is your 9:30 gap. You could short that again. So you have that. Once it reaches there, you could look for this. And on the hourly, 15-minute, you would look for an SMT. So another setup would also be here. So you see why is it so off? Yeah, so this is another SMT. And let's say you didn't capture any of that, or you're feeling good, and you go in with lower leverage. You see that SMT right there. You could be a buyer. If that body stops like that, you could be a buyer from this with the stop there, target here. Go to there. Now your target would be here. So you're looking for any major SMTs. And we do have an SMT there. But let's look for more. Yeah, I would not be a participant in there. And then maybe, yeah, you'd want to see it run away. And because right here, I'd be a buyer, and I would literally put my stop right there. And let's say I go to there, because you have another SMT. Okay, so now what I'm thinking on the daily chart, it's bullish. We just had a daily SMT. Let's regather again. Now what I'm thinking, it's bullish. We just had a massive SMT. Now I want to see it in the next day. I want to see it go higher. And if it doesn't, then I'll look for this low, and we'll look for the middle of this, and we'll look for the low here. I really don't want it to, but that's what we're looking for. And let's see what would happen when we wake up the next morning. Let's see the new day opening gap. So we do have the new day opening gap inside of here, which is number one rule of thumb. Okay. Then the wick, you would want to look at the daily wick. You would absolutely not want price to go below the 50%. Why is it so? And you would want to see it work the upper 50%. You would not want to see this low taken out, preferably. And if it does, you would want to see it come back quickly. So 4 hour, not much, just look for an SMT. Right now you're bullish, remember, when you're waking up in the morning, say you're waking up at 7. Okay. This is a perfect, you're like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Because we have an SMT right here. You're like, okay, I want to see it go above and leave it. You have liquidity above here. And this is really a bad sign already. You have liquidity above here. So going on the 15-minute. Seven or 5:15 comes, and you're like, yes, it's game on. We're gonna go higher because of that SMT, right? We 7 o'clock comes and we drag higher into here. 9:30 rolls around. We make this nasty, disgusting little wick. And right now what we want to see is it close above the highs. We want to see it close above the highs. So let's go on in the 1 minute and go into that 9:30 open with that in mind. Any SMT on the lower time frame, you are looking of buying. So we don't have the 9:30 gap until here. For ES, same thing. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, I did actually caught that. So here's what you don't want to happen, but is what ended up happening. So 9:30 comes. 9:30 comes. Let's check the economic calendar. Monday and Tuesday, we had nothing. So, given the very minimal, let's look at the regular trading hours for here. Yeah, so very, very small. So what that means, just wait for 10. So there's absolutely no trade on until 10 a.m. And what would you know it? 10 a.m. The 4-hour closes below these lows. Then you see ES close right below there, come back to the middle. So on that candle's high, you could be short all the way to this low. And I would put my stop above, yeah, I would put it maybe, 12, 13 right there. And if you don't, you can enter right there. This is the actual trade that I took. And I wrote it down there. And you also do have a small SMT here that you could somehow try and get to those highs, but it's very choppy. This is why you wait for 10. 10 o'clock comes and you have a setup almost instantly. Now you are hoping that it reverses and you now have the daily low as a target. And that is not fun. So you have this low, I guess, and you have, let's look at the daily. You have the middle of this, but it doesn't touch. You have this, and most importantly, you have this low. Okay, wait, I want to see what it was. It's beautiful. You have that low and this low. So let's go back in the 15-minute chart. Okay, so 10 a.m. comes. 10 a.m. comes. It closes like that. Once this is a great sell signal. And we go from here. Of course, there's an SMT. Let me show you. So yeah, we have that. Comes back. Takes out a high. We have an SMT here. Another SMT there. You could be short from here to here. This is where you get in. Stop above that high. And then you could be short again here. And I like this. This to the wick with your stop. Let's do it above here. Or even above this right here. Comes back up. You have to suffer some drawdown. And eventually it gets you there. And you could also take it off at this low. Comes back, makes another SMT, keeps going lower. Fails to make an SMT here. Goes through. No SMT. No SMT. Comes back to the new day opening gap. And comes back to here. That is a mouthful. This is why it gets so just messy, because we're only here and we've already seen so much. Okay. I'm gonna remove the drawings and I'll be right back.